morning and welcome back to my vlog. I'm so excited to jump into today's vlog, which is actually not a vlog, so I don't even know why I'm saying that. Yep. Morning voice on for you guys. It's around 8 a.m. and I have a busy day of some work stuff, and I thought that I would do a Q&A but do it while doing my makeup. I get a lot of questions about the makeup routine that I use, especially for someone who has dealt with acne and talks so much about non-pore clogging ingredients, especially being in our acne. This could be interesting, especially being in our makeup. I have had one cup of coffee, but I woke up starting my period today, so I think period brain is also a thing. Okay, so I think that we should just dive in. I asked y'all to ask me anything on Instagram, and I had a lot of really great questions. Like, I think I'll answer some Instagram questions too that I didn't get to in this video. So if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you are, because I also post a lot of goodies there. You guys sent in really amazing questions, so I'm so grateful. But one of the questions was, can you give us your makeup routine that includes the non-pore clogging ingredients? And 95% of this makeup routine is non-pore clogging. I will mention the ones that are not. And that is just because today I'm actually getting more ready. When I'm doing my every single day, truly I'm only using non-pore clogging and getting as natural as it can get. But today I'm going to be on camera, so I'm going to put a little bit more than I usually would. And there's just a couple products that do have pore clogging in them. So just a side note, but I think let's jump in. Okay, so let's put some lip balm first while we do the routine. This is the Ilia Hydrating Lip Balm. If I don't mention the product, I will have everything listed below, because sometimes I can get multitasking is not my thing, so distracted when I'm trying to mention the product as well as tell you guys, answer the questions. I'm just flipping you off right now. Morning. Oh my gosh, I was like, why does something smell like it's burning? My flower is literally burning from my candle. Holy shit. I could have just set something on fire. Oh my gosh, you guys, I just burned a flower. I'm concerned how this video is already starting out. The first question is how I got started in the wellness world. So my skin is already prepped, just gonna share with you guys. This is what I'm gonna go in with. Usually I would do the Drunken Elephant drops, which I'm so grateful these are non-pore clogging, but I'm actually gonna go in because I got a tan last week. It's a little patchy, but I'm gonna use the Salty Face liquid bronzer, and I'm just gonna mix it in with my foundation because it's a little bit richer, and I just used the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk foundation. I am gonna link below the foundation I used when my skin was really bad. It was the best coverage, and it was non-pore clogging, and it wasn't like you had to put tons on, because the foundation was actually like a concealer, so it was very thick, but it didn't feel like it. It was literally magic. People still to this day have messaged me, ask me what foundation I used when I had cystic acne, so I will link that below. But if you have you don't want as thick, the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk is really amazing, and you can continue to build it. And I'm in the color 6.5. So how I got started in the wellness world was kind of by accident. It definitely was not planned at all. I moved to Los Angeles and started modeling. And when I was modeling, I didn't really love it, side note, but it wasn't my passion. It's not that I didn't love it, it just felt very much like a job. And I knew that one day I would know when my career was here. It just was me being very patient. very patient. I moved here when I was 17 and I did not figure out what I wanted to really do until I was like probably 21, which is still young, but I'm just saying there was a lot of years that I did not know what I wanted to do. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in with this like dense brush and just kind of press everything in. But when I was modeling, I didn't really have an incredible wellness routine. I had my best friend as my roommate and we had the time of our lives in Los Angeles and we're living the LA life. I felt like it was such an experience and I was doing it at such a young age that I feel like by the time I was reaching 21, I started to just see my mental health getting not as great, and I started to see that the partying was like catching up to me and I just wasn't really feeling good in my body, and I never really felt that before. I would say I grew up in a family that was super into wellness. Now looking back, you know, when you're in your household, I didn't really understand that I was so beautifully blessed in that way, but my mom always cooked and my dad was in the fitness space, and even my mom was an aerobic teacher when she was younger. Like, I feel like, and then I was a dancer, my brother was a football player. Like, I feel like discipline and taking care of ourselves was really important. And then when I started to see my mental health and even my body start to change, even at 21, like, I just remember me not being like as tight as I wanted to be, or I felt like I started to see my face was getting really inflamed. Like, I felt like I looked like a very round person, where I feel like I have a little bit more of chiseled cheeks, I guess. And I just started to be like, okay, there's something going on here. And the thing that I could tell right away that I was not doing was eating properly, because I grew up in a family that kind of showed me home cooked meals, what to put on your plate. I just went back to my roots. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop eating as much fast food. I was eating fast food at least once a day. I'm gonna start cooking my meals. I'm going to start actually having proper meals in a day. So I was having like meals that consisted of, I wouldn't eat until maybe 1, and then I would have a really big fat meal, and then I wouldn't be hungry until like 10 p.m. and then I would eat at 10 p.m. Like, my schedule when I was younger, because I got to create it myself, was a mess, and so fine. But I think when I started to see the effects of all that, right away I went for my food and I went for my movement. So I started to eat better. I started to create my true workout routine, and then I started to create a routine. So a morning routine. I started waking up more at the same time. I started getting proper amount of sleep. I started to just start to take care of myself again, mentally, physically. And when I was doing this in the modeling world, I feel like a lot of girls were like asking me, because they saw the difference in me. So they were like, wait, what are you doing? Like, you seem a lot happier. You seem like you're glowing. You seem like you look amazing. And it was something that I could talk about all day, because it was just something that I felt like did change my life and make me feel so much better. And I did it myself, that I was like, oh, I really want to share this. So at this time, Instagram stories started to come out, and I just felt really called to start sharing on there. This is truly where you just like listen and you don't know why. So I had no inkling that this would be my career, no even drive from that. I just felt this little, I call it a sizzle, but a little message in my belly that was like, hey, I think that you should start posting on socials, and not posting your modeling photos, because that's what I was posting on Instagram, like almost using it as my book. And instead it was like, no, you should start sharing these things that you're doing. I'm gonna go in with the NARS concealer in color Ginger, medium 2. This is what I use to cover up any spots. I will say the pot version of this too is even thicker if you feel like you need more, but I do love this concealer. So then I started posting on Instagram stories, and I started just posting my routines. And people asked me like, weren't you nervous to post? Like, your friends were all watching, like, doesn't that make you uncomfortable? I just remember not really caring about that. I feel like I just had the intuitiveness in me to post that I was like, I really don't care if my friends are watching. And that is crazy for me because I do care what people think in ways that I don't know what came over me, but it did. And then when I started posting on Instagram stories, I started to see a lot of traction come through, people just really asking a lot of questions and things that I was just answering back to because I absolutely love talking about it. And from there, I started to just continue to share, just organically for free. And then I saw this audience continually building. And from there, like, I never looked back at my journey being my job. Like, I saw that the reason that I went through that and the fact that I did it on my own, I had all of these tips to share. And that's how my whole journey has been. It's all been me going through something and then doing it on my own, or finding the tools or finding the people and then being able to share that with you guys. And that's literally my job. Okay, I just want to answer this one real quick. It is, how is your skin doing? It is doing all right. I feel like it is a work in progress, but I'm feeling really grateful from the team and professionals that I have. So thank you for asking. And I would recommend to really follow your gut of what you feel like you need to do for you. Don't worry about what anyone else is giving you opinions on, especially people that have never had acne before. Those are probably the last people you want to listen to. So thank you for asking. My skin is doing pretty good. Okay, brows, I go on with the Anastasia Brow Freeze. I'm going to do it off to the side because I know that I need focus to do this properly. So give me 2 seconds. Okay, so my next trick is translucent powder. Anywhere you have a pimple, you put this on for your entire makeup routine. Even so, say you have pimples all here, you literally take it and you bake wherever there's the pimples. That is the key to acne, is you need to bake where you have your zits, because it's gonna allow it to almost just be more cohesive with the skin, rather than, I think if you just have foundation on, you can really see it more. This powder is gonna help do that. Ilia powder is safe. I just use like one of these, but I don't have like a lot of pimpities right now, but I'm just gonna put some like right here. And you can leave it literally the entire routine. Okay, so next question is, how do I dare move to a new city alone without knowing what I want to do next in life? Okay, so the first thing I would say is, if you are called on your heart to move to a new city, don't second guess it. Follow that. You know, like, I like to call them sizzles, but whatever has been placed on your heart is not placed for no reason. And the more that we just trust that, and sometimes that is very hard because we love certainty and we love, we hate the unknown, I think, as human beings a lot of the time. So the more that we can actually trust that whatever came through was actually placed on our hearts for a reason, and we trust that, I think everything will fall into a place. So I always say, I'm not going to leave Los Angeles until I really feel that like sizzle in my belly of where JT and I are supposed to go next. We both know LA is not our home, but for now it is. But when I have kids, I do not want to be in Los Angeles. So there's like already inklings of where I think we're going to go, but I'm not 100% sure. So if you have like 100% certainty of like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to move to Texas and I'm freaking out because I know no one there, I don't have a job there, I would say if you felt that calling, like, trust that to your core. And I think without knowing what you want to do next with your life and moving to a place, yeah, I would say this is so personal to you of like, do you feel like you can move to a place because the calling is so deep that you're supposed to go there that you don't need to know what your career is? Or do you feel like, okay, I do need to know like my job, I do need to know all of these things to actually feel secure? And that's kind of only something you can answer. There's not a right or wrong way to do it. But sometimes the most beautiful things are in the unknown, and the more we try to control them or make them what we want them to be, we lose out on the magic. Okay, next one is best dating advice. Beautiful. So my best dating advice, if I could tell myself dating advice long ago, would be to date myself first and then date other people. Now, if dating myself first means dating other people to maybe figure out myself, great. But at the end of the day, I am intentionally choosing to date myself first to then find my partner. That would be my best advice. Like, there is nothing greater than knowing yourself and loving yourself, and finding a partner from there, I think, is a way better place to start than the opposite, which I think can happen as well, but that would be my recommendation. I think don't compare to other people when dating, especially. You know, I think everyone has their own rules, their own projections of what they want in a partner. And if you are trying to match everyone's partner list of what they feel like is worthy or good, or a man or woman, whatever it is, you are never going to win. You really want to understand that you are so different from everyone else. So if you tried to have the same partner as even some of your friends, it would not work. So the more that you can actually date for you and not worry about what so many other people think, because they are only giving their own projections of what they want. And so it shouldn't be exactly in line with what you want. Okay, so I just went in with the Benefit tint. This stuff is amazing. And then also on my eyes, I love a very natural eye. I'm going to go in with the Hoola bronzer. You could use whatever bronzer. I will say this bronzer is not safe, so I only use it on my eyes. I don't use it on my face. So I have like a very small one, but I do really love the color. Okay, a lot of questions on my nails, which is so cute because I actually just got them done and I'm obsessed too. So I asked for a square round look, very natural. I just show this Pinterest photo every single time. I have to keep my nails pretty natural for work. And then I just get gel, hard gel, if my nails are feeling like they need extra support. But only 2 coats, and 1 coat is put it in neutral, and the second coat is bubble bath. And I do bubble bath first and then put it in neutral. So it just gives a very, very natural nail. But these are my real nails, which is nice. Okay, I'm just gonna take my bronzer brush and kind of get all of this, because I'm gonna start doing powdered stuff. So just gonna blend all of my powder that I put on here. Okay, next, this is only what I do when I have, when I'm really going on camera and stuff, because these are pore clogging, so just know that. But this is the blush from Charlotte Tilbury. Okay, tips for someone starting out their fitness journey and trying to push through productivity motivation being low. I think my advice for this would be to, 1, write a letter from your future self that already completed the goal that you're looking for. So truly, from this future self, write a letter from her saying whatever comes through. So if it's from this future self that committed these goals or finished these goals, or is continuing to do these goals, and have her write a letter to you saying, I can't believe we did it. I'm so proud of you. You didn't give up, and now you are the happiest you've ever been. And start to also write out all of the feelings you want to feel and why you're doing this. Remember that these things were not placed on your heart for no reason. So for you and your fitness journey, say you're doing this because you feel really lethargic, or you physically don't enjoy the way that your body looks and feels. Like, write out what you want to feel every single day. And from your future self, tell her, like, have that future self write out, like, I feel all of these things. And every time you have to show up for yourself, think of that it's possible. Think that your future self has already done it and that it is possible for you. Number 2 would be to make sure you have realistic goals. When you try to jump into especially fitness or eating right, wellness routine, if you try to jump in and you have never done that in your life, I like to call it or give you a visual analogy of someone never swimming before and just jumping into the deep end and thinking that they can just figure it out. They're gonna drown, they're gonna really get frustrated, and they're never gonna wanna go swimming again. You have to treat yourself the same exact way. Fitness is not natural. It's not something that we've always been taught. So give yourself the grace and understanding of that and set yourself up for realistic goals like you would if you were trying to swim. You would get an instructor. You would maybe swim twice a week. You would practice breathing exercises. Like, take it that slow. So if you've never done fitness in your life, maybe in the next 30 days, it's not going 1 to 100. It's not doing 75 hard. It is, because you'll get absolutely burnt out, and then you'll also fail or give up, and then you're being so hard on yourself and you're like, oh, fitness is just not for me. Fitness is a lifestyle change. It's not a quick fix. So with that being said, a lifestyle change takes time. It takes patience. It takes understanding. It takes moving and flowing with your body. It takes creating new brain pathways. It takes discipline. So my advice there would be to give yourself that grace of like, okay, maybe we start 2 times a week of actually doing like workout classes from at home, in a studio, whatever it is for you that works, that feels right with your schedule. And then the other days, 3 days out of the week, I'm going to walk. I'm just going to walk for 30 minutes, not even 3 hours. Like, calm down. We don't need to go 1 to 100. Be realistic. And that motivation will start to actually improve because you're going to see, oh, I'm actually keeping these promises to myself, so I'm actually motivated to keep going. And then writing the note from the future self allows you to remember you can do it. You've already done it. Okay, put a little powder on my nose because I got close up and your girl is shiny. But next question is how to deal with heartache. Boyfriend and I broke up and you're having a hard time. Obviously, this is beyond a real moment in time. It doesn't matter if you've been with him for a month or 5 years. Heartache freaking sucks. So how to deal with it, what I would recommend, I'm going in with the Ilia bronzer powder. What I would recommend is feeling it, grieving it, honoring the emotions that are coming up, and remembering how normal it is to be in pain with heartache. I think that we want to move through heartache so fast because it was placed on our heart to do it, that it doesn't make sense when we're going through such a hard time after it. And I think that's a reason we could go back so quickly to people. But if you realize that the sizzle in your belly that told you, okay, this isn't right, or on his part, whoever initiated the breakup, the more that you trust that and understand, okay, this was placed on my heart for a reason, and this is really freaking hard because at the end of the day, I love that person, or they were such a big part of my life. Honoring that. Know that these breakups don't have to mean I hate this person. Instead, it's like they imprinted my heart for life. Like, I think the people that we let in that close in a romantic relationship will implant our hearts forever. And the more that we normalize that, like, I think thinking about exes, like, people might be like, you can't think about your ex, that means X. And it's like, it means that I had 4 years with that person, and of course they're going to pop up in my head, or memories are going to happen, or I might think about them because they have a truly, I picture them leaving an imprint on my heart. And that is because I gave them so much, they gave me so much. You know parts of each other that no one will ever know. And instead of looking at that means I need to stay with that person. Instead, look at that as, wow, what a beautiful gift that I got to share that with that person. And this is really gonna hurt. And I'm going to allow myself to go through the grieving process. I'm going to allow myself to feel the pain now instead of pushing it down and then having to feel it later. Because at the end of the day, all our emotions want to do is to be felt. And the more that we feel them in the moment, the less that they're pushed down, and then we're having to feel them later and not understand what's going on. So if you're grieving, grieve. If you're feeling sorrow, be sorrow. And also with all of that, normalizing it. Normalizing, of course you are feeling these ways. Of course you are. You're going through a breakup, which is so hard. Normalize it. Okay, next one is how are you? Oh, that's sweet. And best advice to starting your own business. Okay. I am doing amazing, honestly. I have never felt so close to myself in my entire life. So I'm feeling really, really amazing. I'm really excited about so many of the things that I'm tapping into right now. I'm curious about life. I'm curious about self. I've never dove so much into myself. So thank you for asking. Best advice to start your own business. My best advice would be that one, if it was placed on your heart, remember that was placed on your heart for a reason. Doesn't matter if it's overdone, doesn't matter if the space is saturated, doesn't matter any of it. If it was placed on your heart, then it is meant to be. You don't need to know all of the answers to start your own company. You don't need to know. You don't need to know all the answers, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Ask people for help. Best advice I could give. Other people know things that you don't know. We can only know based off of our own experiences. So stop trying to act like we know everything. That's not what an entrepreneur is. That's not what someone who's starting a business should know. Is just they should know everything, and that's why they should start a company. I actually think it's the opposite. It's your team that's going to make you successful, but it's your sizzle and your vision that's going to bring it to life. So hire the right people. Hire the people that know things that you don't know, that are better than you in areas. Ask for help. And start a business if you are so passionate about something, because that passion is going to take you very, 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 very far. I would not recommend to start a company if you're just trying to make money, because there's going to be so many ups and downs, and what gets you through those ups and downs is your passion for it, and it's because you absolutely believe in it. Best lip liner for a natural lip, and it is the Makeup Forever in the shade Anywhere Caffeine. Okay, this is a cute one. It says, when are we getting Form activewear? I need that long sleeve. It is live April 8th. And I will say, with us being so new in the active world, we're really figuring out numbers and how much we should be getting an inventory. So I would recommend, if you want Forms activewear, to be on there and order quick, because I do have a feeling a lot of it is going to go really fast, and then we're going to do a restock, of course, but restock takes a little bit. So we're figuring out so much of our numbers. So if you are really craving the long sleeve or any part of the activewear, April 8th, it is live. I'm also going to do an entire try on haul on Instagram. Okay, I'm using the brown Better Than Sex Too Faced mascara. I like brown. Again, I think it gives a more natural look, and I truly do like 2 coats. I actually don't like mascara at all, but today we're doing a little bit. Okay, so question of how many days a week do you exercise? Do you do cardio or just strength mat Pilates? Okay, so this is personal in the sense of what works for my body. This is not exactly what you should do. You should trial and error and figure out what works for you. I know people that work out 6 days a week and it works for them. I know people that work out 3 days a week and it works for them. And how you know it works for you is it matters your goals, it matters how your body's feeling, and base it off of you should feel energized, you should feel your results coming through, you should feel like you're not working out because you're doing it out of a place of hate, but rather than a place of love. I do think moving your body every single day should be a priority, but that can be a walk, that can be, stretching. It doesn't have to be a hardcore workout, but I'm going to give you my workout as a fitness instructor now for 8 years. my workout routine now. It has evolved, it has changed, and evolvement and change is good. My workout routine right now is, let me make sure I'm correct. It is, I would say, on a weekly basis, for sure, 2 days a week, strength workouts. And when I say strength, that means lifting weights. And that means lifting weights. I'm lifting. I'm going 30 pounds. I'm like getting in there. And it's always 30 minutes. I never am doing longer than that. And I can say that concrete. I'm just very committed in those 30 minutes. And I usually do a body part. So I'll do like upper body or lower body. If I do strength workouts 3 times a week, then the third one will be a full body. The 2 other days I do Pilates. So same thing. I'll do maybe like an inner thigh day, and then I'll maybe do like an upper body or just a core day, but it will be mat Pilates, and that is same thing, strictly 30 minutes, no more. I'll add ankle weights or booty bands to enhance it, or light dumbbells. And then so that's 4 days a week. The 5th day is really what I'm feeling. Sometimes like right now, I'm actually loving doing, it's called EMS. It's like the suit you wear, and I do it with my girlfriends, and that's been like a fun new change up. And that's a different kind of workout that we do from at home. And then on the weekends, I will do a long walk. So that's like a 2-hour walk. I will do like stretching or just like moving my body in just different ways. And then sometimes if I am feeling like, ooh, I could do a little bit more, maybe I'll do 5-minute core or 10-minute core. And that's kind of my movement. That's like my concrete. But some days, like this week, I did work out 6 days a week because I'm filming, and I actually had a lot of energy. Now I'm starting my period. So we're gonna go like this. We are gonna do a lot less movement. So it's really finding out what works for you. We do have the form schedule. So if you're like curious of where to get started, of like the structure I just said, we have a Pilates and strength schedule you can follow, so you don't have to think about what body part to work, but that is my groove and what works for me. I also am getting into padel with JT, so that's another activity that's kind of like tennis. And so that's a form of movement for me. I would never be like, oh, I'm going to do padel and a workout. Like padel is my workout. Okay, so I'm going to use this RMS Beauty, a really great non-pore clogging brand. And like I said, the translucent powder is a little white, so this one has a little bit of color. So I'm just going to use it for all over my face. Sometimes I would use this as my foundation if I'm like not wanting to put a lot on and just like be a color. I just ate that. How to navigate parents' views, but putting your independence first while in your mid-20s. This is a real one. I think it is such a moment of understanding your parents love you so much, so they are going to give you all the advice because they have lived a life as they should, but they are giving advice from a projected place, from their, Rivy's here, from their experiences, from their problems, from the way that they've seen the world. And again, I think it's just like I'm giving my advice. It's based off of like what has worked for me. So you take and leave what works for you and what doesn't. So my best advice would be remembering that you live in your body, you live in your mind, they do not, and know that they are coming from a place of love, but you have to navigate what actually works for you and what has worked for them. And how you can navigate that is that when they give you advice, check in with yourself if that advice is meant for you or not, if that is something you need to receive or not. And sometimes they don't even need to know the answer to it. You can take it or leave it. But really checking in with you of, okay, is that actually advice that is for me, or do I actually want to pivot that and I actually don't feel like that works for me? The moment you can realize that and know that you're doing it from a place of love too, like we look up to our parents, we love our parents, we don't want to hurt their feelings that we're not taking their advice, But the moment that we can actually take our adult life into our own hands allows us to actually really dive into who we are and ourself and the new patterns we want to create, because we grew up in a household with our parents for so long that we've learned so many of those patterns, which are okay. But when we're adults, some of them don't work for us anymore, and we are allowed to say, you know what, I'm so grateful for those, but I actually realized that I want to do this and that this is actually right for me and this is the way I want to handle this situation, instead of being like, well, this is how I was raised, so this must be right. Really giving yourself that power back of, I'm so grateful for all that they have shared with me, and now it is my turn to take control of my life. All right, my loves, I don't know how long this video went for, but I'm gonna end with the Summer Fridays lip balm. They are by far my favorite lip balms, all colors, all shades, all smells. I like it better than even Rhode. Like, I love Rhode too, but this just has my heart. But this is the final ending to the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little Q&A. You guys had such incredible questions. I could do a part 2 if you all wanted to. There's a lot more, but I'm so grateful for you hanging with me, hearing me, and allow whatever I've said to check in with yourself too, of whatever is right for you. So what has hit you that feels like, oh, that is for me, and something that has hit you that is, oh, that's not for me, I actually feel X. That is so okay. We are all deserving of our own journey, and the more that we can actually like connect to that, the better off we are and living our purpose, our soul life. Like, we are literally in our bodies, and so be in your body, be in your body. Okay, I love you. Final look. Mwah.